In this video, I'll be showing you a step-by-step process of how to use AI to perform modern marketing research. This is a follow-up to one of my most popular videos, and I've learned a lot since then that I'm excited to share with you. This process will ensure that your ads and your content are in lockstep with your audience. It's especially helpful for very narrow B2B niches where conventional forms of market research like studies and focus groups are tricky. I've run a marketing agency for over 10 years, and I've conducted many large market research studies, and I've been a part of many focus groups. And when it comes to understanding your customer, this process far exceeds anything that I've seen before. And the best part is that it's free. Outside of a paid ChatGPT subscription, this costs nothing. With the process I'm about to show you, you'll never have to worry that what you're creating does not have an audience or that you don't fully understand your customers. And if you're a marketer working with many different clients, this is going to be an absolute game changer. Previously, market research was incredibly expensive and didn't always yield great results. In fact, many times the results were terrible. This is because the way people respond to a survey or inside of a focus group is very different than how they act as buyers. It's much better to study their organic interactions in online communities, and this is called netnography. In today's example, the online community we'll be using is YouTube. With over 2 billion monthly users, YouTube holds a treasure trove of information about your audience. Like my previous video, we're going to be using netnography in conjunction with many different prompts to analyze what we find on YouTube, including my favorite, empathy mapping. Empathy mapping is a tool that really lets us get into the shoes of our audience. It's literally a map of what our audience thinks and feels, helping us to understand them on a deeper level. And it's not just about what they like, but why they like it, which is super important for us to know. ChatGPT will be doing a lot of the heavy lifting for this, saving us many hours and allowing us to get right to a deep understanding of our audience. I'll be walking you through a complete process of building a market research tool that takes YouTube comments and formats them into empathy maps. I've been using this in my own content creation, and I'm going to show it to you step by step from start to finish. And as always, if you're eager to dive deeper, I'm sharing all of the code and resources you see here with my Patreon supporters. If you're new to the Blazing Zebra channel, I'd like to welcome you and thank you for joining me on my mission of helping entrepreneurs and marketers around the world. My goal is to provide you with practical AI skills that'll drive your profitability and business success. So what are we actually going to be building in this video? We're going to be creating a market research workflow that will pull YouTube comments from videos we know our audience is interested in. We'll then use ChatGPT to analyze these comments in various ways that'll give us a deep understanding of these individuals. This method allows us to understand our audience, their problems, and most importantly, how they describe and think about these problems. It works way better than anything I've come across. But in order to create this, we're going to need a couple things. First, we're going to use ChatGPT to create a simple piece of software that we will run inside of a Google Colab Notebook. It's okay if you have no idea what that is. I'll walk you through it step by step, and I'll also link to my video on getting started with Google Colab in the description. We're also going to need a Google Cloud API key, and this is not hard when I show you exactly where to click. Once you have this software, you can use it over and over again, so that part only needs to be done once. Then we will use that Google Colab software to pull the comments off of YouTube videos that we know are resonating with our audience. Finally, we'll use ChatGPT to analyze those comments for key insights into the challenges that our audience is facing. The end of this video is packed with useful prompts for this. And these prompts will also allow us to get a feel for the exact language our audience is using, ensuring that our marketing messages call out to them in the precise words that they use. I know it sounds like a lot, but I've done 99% of the work for you. You just need to follow along and everything should work out great. Or if you're in a hurry, you can just jump into the Patreon and copy all the templates, connect them up on your end, and you're ready to go. This process is fantastic for creating all kinds of content. It can work well for building outlines for podcasts. It can help with Facebook ads, Reels, Google search ads, and more. This process may even help you revisit how you describe your product in general. All right, so to kick this off, we need to hop into ChatGPT 4 and enter the following prompt. Create a script to be used in Google Colab for downloading YouTube video comments. Please include any pip install commands needed for this to work with Google Colab. And here's what that looks like. It will generate this script, and it'll basically tell you how to use it. It'll walk you through a lot of the steps we're going to go through here. But if you see this being created, you are on the right path. Next, we need to hop into Google Colab. So you can search for Google Colab, or you can just go to collab.research.google.com. And you will be greeted with something like this, and you want to open up a new notebook. Or it might look like this, and you need to click that file and create a new notebook. And the new notebook should look like this. You want to copy that code that we created in ChatGPT right into this new notebook. And you don't really need to understand what's going on here, but I will have a link to my Google Colab Quick Start video if you want to learn a little bit more about Google Colab, which is a fantastic way to run simple code without a whole lot of hassle. All right, and once you put this into your Google Colab, this is the code that was created in ChatGPT 4. Just copied and pasted all of that in. The next thing we're going to need is that API, and this is referring to the Google Cloud API, not the OpenAI API that you may be familiar with if you've done a lot of experimenting with AI. And I do have a working version of this script for my Patreon supporters. If you just don't want to hassle with this part of it, you can just hop in and grab that, copy it, and put in your API key. But I'm going to show you how to get that API key now. This is a little confusing, just the way that the backend is set up on Google Cloud API, but if you just click where I tell you to click, it should be pretty easy. So first search for Google Cloud API or go to cloud.google.com/APIs. And you're going to want to find that console that's up near your little profile picture. You may need to log in, jump through some hoops there. But once you're logged in, you should see that console. Click on that. Go up to this. You'll see right next to Google Cloud, there'll be a little drop-down menu. It won't say YouTube comments like mine does, but you should be able to start a new project in there. So the new project, this is what it looks like. You got to give it a name. You got to give it an organization, location. Just fill out all of this to the best of your ability. Don't get slowed down. None of this is public facing, so you don't really need to worry about this. Next, this is the part that tripped me up, but you need to set this OAuth consent screen. Just click on that, click on internal, and you got to fill this out, put in just a couple different emails. This is basically setting you up for a public facing piece of software, which you're not doing. So just put in, whatever email, put in your own email there and keep cruising. Once you have that, you need to go to the credentials section and create credentials. And we're very close now. Now you can just create your API key, and that should generate the key that we need to put back in your Google Colab. So switching back to Google Colab, copy and pasting your Google Cloud API key in there. We're pretty much done with this step here. Now all we need to do is enter a video ID. So go find a video that is resonating with your audience. And this is what the video ID is. If you look up in the URL, you'll find the little, anything after that equals sign is the video ID. So you want to copy and paste everything after the equals sign on a video that is, is resonating with your audience. Ideally that has a lot of different comments, because those are the comments we're going to pull from. It doesn't have to be your video. It can be your video. But it can, you can look at some of the biggest influencers, YouTubers in your space, find some videos that are directly related to whatever you do, and grab this video ID. Again, it's everything after the equals sign in the URL. We're copying and pasting that then back into the script that we've created in Google Colab. And that'll be the part that you switch out each time that you run this. You want to find a different video, you just pop in a different video ID. You don't need to mess with anything else that came before. This is the only part that you need to change. And then you need to run the script. So that little play button, click that. There may be a couple little errors. When I first ran it, it gave me a link that I had to click and just click enable. So the first time you run it, there might be a couple little things, but you should work through those. And if there is an error, you can just drop that back into ChatGPT. Again, all I had to do was click enable. It gave me a link. I had to click that and enable it, and we were off to the races. So from there, it generates a ton of these comments. I think this was many, many pages of comments I took off of a Matt Wolf video that I know was resonating with some AI folks out there. So this is a very, very extensive list of comments that I took. This is just my example. Drop those into ChatGPT, and this went on and on and on. And from there, we're ready to do some analysis. So can you please list the phrases that get repeated over and over again? and it lists out a bunch of the different phrases that are getting commented on over and over and over again. This is very valuable. Generate an empathy map from these comments. So this is my favorite way to analyze this type of data. This breaks it into thinking, feeling, saying, all these different aspects, different ways of looking at your audience that can be very, very helpful for understanding them and for generating content and generating marketing messages that will resonate with your audience. Another prompt I've found very helpful. Please generate some titles for content that would address the comments here. Please make sure to use the exact words or phrases that are repeated often in the comments in your title ideas. Generated a bunch of great ideas that would resonate directly with the words that these folks are using in the comments. There's another follow-up prompt I did here. I've grabbed 3 of these. I said, numbers 3, 6, 9 look great. Can you please pull in the comments that are related to those? And it pulled in a handful of comments for each topic idea that was very helpful to then begin using ChatGPT to outline specific content in that area. So more prompts here, other things that I've found successful. What are the 5 to 10 comments here that are most representative of this group of comments as a whole? Also, based on these comments, can you create 2 or 3 detailed audience personas, including their interests, pain points, and language style? More prompts. Propose ways we can engage more deeply with our audience based on the desires and interests expressed in these comments. Another one, identify which types of content, e.g. tutorials, opinion pieces, case studies, are implicitly or explicitly requested by the audience in these comments. So oftentimes you may get them telling you exactly what type of content you want to create, that they want you to create rather. And I think all of these are helpful. That empathy map is, I think, the number one that I use. That along with creating some titles that actually use the language from the comments. Those are the ones that I use the most. Again, I will link to this entire slide deck in my Patreon as well as that Google Colab. So please check it out. I appreciate you watching, and consider joining the Patreon and helping support the mission of empowering marketers and entrepreneurs around the world by providing comprehensive and practical AI skills that drive profitability and business success. There are tons of cheat sheets in there and coaching options and a lot of fun stuff. But anyway, thanks for watching. Please feel free to like, subscribe, leave me a comment. That stuff really helps, and I'll see you on the next video.
Do it! Don't let your dreams be dreams.